Hello, mate. We're going down under on this week's episode of the Animal Rescuers.
The Animal Rescuers has been adopted by Pet Planet. There is nothing more important to us than your pet's health.
Lorraine, thank you so much for having us here today. We're really excited because this is our 33rd show, and it took us 33 shows to get here. So I'm thrilled, and please tell the audience what your rescue group is, the name and the type of breed that you're rescuing.
We are Amazing Aussies Lethal White Rescue, and what we do is we rescue special needs dogs, Australian Shepherds that are blind, deaf, or deaf and blind due to bad breeding. We do also take in mixes because there are other dogs that have the genetics for this that end up with the same problem. So we do usually take in Australian Shepherds and Australian Shepherd mixes on this. And it's due to breeding Merle to Merle, which is totally preventable. If you don't breed Merle to Merle, you won't have this problem, but when you breed Merle to Merle, 25% of the litter statistically will be born blind, deaf, or deaf and blind. So our goal is to get these dogs into rescue and to get them adopted out and show people absolutely how normal they are, which is why we try to do a lot of events so you can come out and meet our pups.
So explain to me Merle to Merle. I know nothing what that is, so please tell me how I would know the difference.
A Merle it's a color, it's either black or white, but it has, black or red, but it has white woven into it, kind of like you would have gray hair woven into there. So when you see a dog that has patterns with the black with the white woven into it, giving it kind of a blue look, or you have the red with the white woven into it, that is called a Merle. And there's a genetic that causes the dogs to be Merled. And if you breed two of those together, it doesn't make any difference whether you breed a blue Merle to a red Merle, or two blue Merles or two red Merles. The chances of you having the pups born blind, deaf, and blind, 25% is the same. And in fact, it statistically is 25%. We have easily seen 50% inbreeders.
And that's just awful to me. So how can we prevent that from happening? I mean, that is way too many that have that disability. When they have that disability, then it's harder for them to get adopted. Who is doing this? Is it breeders for money, or is it people that just aren't educated?
It's breeders for money. They think that blue Merles are very popular. A blue-eyed blue Merle Aussie is very popular, so they think that they're going to get more if they breed two Merles together, which is not necessarily true. And then of course you also have your backyard breeders who don't really care one way or the other. And you also have, your neighbors that got two Merle dogs. Oh, look how pretty they are. Maybe if we breed these two, we'll have pretty puppies, without doing any research or without knowing anything at all. So it's totally preventable if people wouldn't do the breeding, but there's no way to get them to stop breeding. So the best we can do is education and hope that we reach somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. And if one person says something and we can prevent one litter, we've done something. So
and that's why we do this show, to educate the public. That just makes me so sad, because this breed is absolutely beautiful, aesthetically appealing to the eye.
These are our volunteers and are the other people that we started the rescue with. This first person here is Bill Abernathy.
And I may add a very, very dear friend of mine who brought us here today, a Facebook friend that I love dearly. And who's next?
And next is Dina Kilgos. She is one of my rescue partners, along with her husband Jim. These are our volunteer fosters, Julie and her husband Mark, who have been with us for many years too, helping us doing the rescue and fostering animals, doing events for us.
You have a wonderful, wonderful support system here, and I bet that's what it's going to take. If you have 50% of the population of bad breeding, you're going to need a huge support group. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what else we can do to help besides getting the word out and educating? What can we do to help you?
Okay. Well, we always need more foster homes and volunteers to come out to events and help us, even if you just come out to events to help show the dogs. If you can foster, we really desperately need fosters. The amount of dogs we take in depends on how many fosters we have. We also can, we take donations. We're a 501c3, so everything goes directly to the dogs, for their medical or transport bills or whatever they need. And of course we have the website, we have a list of things that you can donate, like beds, crates, sheets, blankets, food, snacks.
Our producer had a question about the Australian breed, whether it's indigenous to Australia. Can you please reiterate what you told him?
It was not developed in Australia. The Australian Shepherd is actually an American breed. I know they have Australian Shepherds over in Australia, I'm sure, but it is an American breed that was developed. When you have an Australian Shepherd, it is a working breed, so you have to remember that, and you have all sorts of different personalities. If you've got a dog that's a little bit more high-end, it's preferable that we find an active home for a dog like that, somebody that camps, hikes, does dog sports, something like that. Some of them are a little bit more laid back, but they're very smart, and what we always say is once you get an Australian Shepherd, you can never do anything alone again, ever.
If 50% of them are deaf and can't hear, how in the world do you train them?
Well, we train our deaf dogs with hand signals. I do use touch signals on all my dogs, even if they're not blind. Our blind dogs are with touch signals. You touch, one side, like if I touch the left, it's turn left. If I touch right, it's turn right. This is like come forward. With the deaf dogs, you use hand signals, but you have to use a large hand signal. Like I would, if my dog is across the yard and they're deaf, it's like, this is come,
okay.
This is good dog, this is really good dog, this is no,
okay.
Sit. And we use some of the standard hand signals that trainers use when they're not, when there's a show, in the show ring, you can use just hand signals. We use some of those standard hand signals. And the other signals we use for them, is basically what works in your home. As long as everybody in the home uses the same signals for the dog will be just fine.
It's just like having kids. As long as you're consistent with the actual hand movements, it works.
Right, and the training, it's just, like you said, it's just like children, you have to say, don't do that now.
Right, absolutely.
And they learn, they are so smart, they learn so quickly. Even our deaf-blind dogs can go in a house and map out the house and the yard in 24 hours.
Well, as long as we're here, why don't you demonstrate the hand signals and how these dogs are trained with not being able to hear or see?
Do you trust the food you feed? At Pet Planet, our commitment is to helping our customers navigate through the confusing world of pet food, reading ingredient panels, asking critical questions about manufacturing and ingredient quality. Our pets rely on us to make the very best decisions we can for their health, happiness, and longevity. Pet Planet is here as your partner in pet health because there's nothing more important to us than your pet's health.
You can be a part of the animal rescuers also, making a difference for the animals and bringing your business to center stage. Become a sponsor for the show. Adoption season is here, and now is the time to jump on board. And you can be an animal rescuer too. Make the call.
Welcome back to the Animal Rescuers, adopted by Pet Planet.
Thank you for coming back, and we're going to show you some phenomenal training tips.
This is Julie and Spot. Julie adopted Spot from us many years ago, and she's going to show us some of the things he can do with the hand signals that she has taught him.
Oh.
Up, yep, there you go.
So that's up.
That's the sit.
Down.
His down. We must have a roll over there somewhere.
And
so sit again.
And can Spot hear?
No, Spot is deaf.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So he can't hear.
But he sees.
but he sees. So he is following hand signals to come back and forth.
Right.
Oh, and who's that that's in the picture?
That's Roxy.
And can Roxy see or hear?
Roxy is also deaf, but she sees too.
Okay. And when a dog is deaf like that, do they tend to bark a lot or?
No,
Okay.
not any more than, a regular dog would bark.
And obviously everybody can see they love to play, even though they have something working against them.
Yeah.
They're still lovable, fun-loving little puppies.
Right. It would be like, with people, a blind person would probably still, say enjoy hearing the same things or doing the same things, and they don't know the difference. They just think everybody's just like them.
And that other puppy over there, the 7-month-old, he cannot hear or see?
Okay, that's Misty, yes, and she is blind and deaf.
Okay. And how in the world do you train blind and deaf?
With blind and deaf, we use touch signals. Okay, also Spot is a therapy dog, so just to let you know that these dogs are not limited by being deaf. This is Misty. She's deaf and blind. She's 7 months old, and she is available for adoption.
She's beautiful.
She's got a really nice personality. She's very smart, picks things up quite easily, and she's a love bug too. I believe this is our lap dog.
So if somebody were to adopt her, would they be able to get lessons on hand signals, etc.?
Yes, we always do. We offer some basic training, the basic like the come forward, and I offer the touch and things like that. And then I tell them, you just need to develop some of your own signals. I mean, because some people will touch the butt for sit,
Sure.
or touch, between the shoulder blades for a down. A stay would be something like this, so that she knows that's what you want her to do.
Oh, I hope somebody takes her. She's adorable.
She's a great pup.
She is, and she's so soft, like a little stuffed animal. Well, thank you so much. You gave me such an education, and I'm sure the audience that's watching. And I want to reiterate, these are special need dogs, but we have dogs for companion because they have and give unconditional love. So thank you, Lorraine, for all that you offered today, and may I have a hug.
You sure may. Thank you so much.
The first Pet Planet store opened in 1996 after the devastating loss of our Cocker Spaniel to cancer. What we learned then about pet health was eye-opening. The food and the treats that we were giving him did not support his immune system and may have actually harmed him. Pet Planet was established to be a community resource, a store that offers only the healthiest products and the best knowledge on pet health issues. At Pet Planet, there is nothing more important to us than your pet's health.
You can be a part of the animal rescuers also, making a difference for the animals and bringing your business to center stage. Become a sponsor for the show. Adoption season is here, and now is the time to jump on board. And you can be an animal rescuer too. Make the call.
Welcome back to the Animal Rescuers, adopted by Pet Planet.
Welcome back again. I'm Dr. Krista Gibson from Animal Medical Services, and this is At the Vet. Today we're going to talk about pet poisonings. And most of our pet poisonings, the most severe ones certainly, happen shockingly around the house. In fact, animal poison control centers field up to 300,000 calls per year. The number one cause of pet poisonings at home is human medication. Your prescriptions or over-the-counter medications are probably the number one thing that our pets are likely to ingest at home that can make them very, very sick. Heart medication, blood pressure medication, and pain meds top the list of the human medications designed for you that a sneaky pet is likely to gobble up. Another big problem is over-the-counter medications that are given by well-meaning, but unfortunately ill-informed people. Ibuprofen, Tylenol, even nutraceutical supplements can be harmful for your dog. Some animals, particularly cats, are especially sensitive. In fact, one 500 milligram Tylenol will kill a cat. The next most common poisoning in animals is typically insecticides, even some of them that are designed to help them. Topical flea and tick medications, when used incorrectly or improperly, can be very toxic to our dogs. Generally speaking, they're safe, but cats in particular are very sensitive to incorrect use. Next on the list is veterinary products. Many of our pets are very difficult to medicate, so the veterinary industry has made a lot of flavored chews. Well, flavored chews are yummy if you're a dog. In fact, my own dog just a week ago ingested almost an entire bottle of her big brother dog's pain medication. She was really sick for about a week. Household products can also be very dangerous. Things that we think are benign. Cleaners, you wouldn't think a dog would eat a cleaner, but a curious puppy will chew on just about anything. Antifreeze, rodenticides are super toxic to our pets, and they taste really good. So you need to be very careful if you have rodenticides or if you change your antifreeze in your car, because your animals will actually like to eat that stuff, and it's super toxic. And last, don't forget people food. Things that we typically don't think of as being bad for us are really bad for our pets. Chocolate is one that most people are aware of. It can cause heart failure. But did you know that xylitol sweetener in chewing gum can cause liver failure? Grapes can cause kidney failure. Even macadamia nuts can cause neurologic signs, making a dog unable to walk and weak. We've all heard of baby-proofing our houses, right? Well, if you have a lot of medications, if you have household cleaners, or if you have pets that take flavored chews, make sure you pet-proof your house. A simple thing to do if you take human medication for yourself, go in the bathroom, shut the door, and don't let your dog be around so that if you drop a pill, sneaky little dog isn't going to come along and gobble it up. Make sure that all of your household cleaners are shut behind cabinets that can be locked. And make sure that any of your pet's chewable medication, which I learned the hard way, is also shut away where they can't reach them. If you suspect your dog has eaten something that they shouldn't, or your cat for that matter, call the ASPCA Poison Control Hotline. There is also a pet helpline that you can call. These services do charge for their information, but it's a small fee, and they'll help you know if what your dog has eaten is toxic, if what your dog has eaten is life-threatening, and if you need to see a veterinarian immediately, or if it can wait until the next morning. Also, if it's during the day, call your veterinarian. We're full of information. Thanks again for visiting At the Vet. I'm Dr. Krista Gibson from Animal Medical Services.
Welcome back. It's Carly Selchow-burr again. Today I'd like to talk to you about canine body language. As I spoke of before, communication to me is one of the keys in working with animal rescue, especially so many rescues have suffered abuse or neglect and really don't know how to relate to us. I'm going to go through a few of the ideas and a few of the concepts that'll help you the most. 1, the T position. 2, mobbing. 3, panting, fear sign, submission. First one today I want to talk about is the T position, and this happens often with puppies and adults too. Dogs will put up with a lot for a puppy because if they don't, there'll not be another generation, and you'll hear puppies and adults playing and suddenly, harump, what happened? Inadvertently, one dog was standing while the other dog butted up against it, forming a T. In the dog world, the dog that was resting its head on the shoulders of the other has just thrown down the gauntlet. Bring it on. When you see this in play, it's one thing, but when you see it with an adult dog, or if you inadvertently approach a dog on the shoulders, you may have given the signal to this dog that I am dominant and I am challenging. Mobbing. You see this a lot in films of hyenas, but what mobbing is, when a mother dog goes out, leaves the den, comes back, she's gorged herself with food. This is mama dog. The puppies are brushing against her cheeks. Why is this? This stimulates regurgitation, and it's how puppies eat. Now, while our cityfied dogs may never have had to go through this, this is still a comfort zone to a dog. If you've ever petted a dog and they lean in, it's a very natural response. It's the way I first offer my hand to all shy dogs, waiting for them to lean in. Another is fear and submissive fear. This can be one of the most frightening things to work, but really important to acknowledge the signals, because dogs are trying to tell you everything they can to let you know, I'm afraid, please give me time, give me space. Inadvertently, often we read these signs as, oh, the dog is being quiet and polite, I can pet it. And this is where a fear bite happens. Recognize things like eyes dipped, the backbone is arched, they won't make direct contact. Often there's a nervous pant with it. And by nervous pant, I mean instead of the tongue being out, lazy, it's in their mouth. The pant is short and shallow. You can see the whites of their eyes. This is a frightened dog. Back away, give it space, let it have time. Tail wagging is another thing. I can't tell you how many times I've heard, he bit me, but he was wagging his tail. Tails tell you a lot more than just joy. A tail that is ducked low and close to the body with a real quick twitch. This is a dog that is nervous. It's trying to tell you, please give me space. A tail straight out from the body and a big old sloppy wag, that's exactly what you'd expect. Happiness and joy. A tail that is straight up and going quickly is trying to tell you, please back off. I'm giving you a warning. You're in my space. I could attack. So recognize these signs. It'll make your communication in your life with your dog so much easier. For the Animal Rescuers, I'm Carly Selchow-burr.
Do you trust the food you feed? At Pet Planet, our commitment is to helping our customers navigate through the confusing world of pet food, reading ingredient panels, asking critical questions about manufacturing and ingredient quality. Our pets rely on us to make the very best decisions we can for their health, happiness, and longevity. Pet Planet is here as your partner in pet health because there's nothing more important to us than your pet's health.
You can be a part of the Animal Rescuers also, making a difference for the animals and bringing your business to center stage. Become a sponsor for the show. Adoption season is here, and now is the time to jump on board. And you can be an animal rescuer too. Make the call.
Hi, I'm Jen, and this is your Pet Planet Pet Tip of the Week. This week, we're going to focus on a very serious health issue that all of our pets face if you live in a desert community. Although this is a year-round issue, it becomes much more prevalent as the weather warms up.
Valley fever is an insidious disease that we've seen grow in the desert Southwest in the last 12 years, and it's not getting any better. These organisms are very hardy. We're finding them off the California coast. We see 2 seasons in Arizona, one in the spring and one in the summer, and they're devastating in the effects that they have on the immune system and their longevity in the body. And given the fact that they don't disappear, they go into remission. This is not only a regional problem in the fact that we have got fungal organisms in the Midwest, we've got mold organisms in the Northwest, and these are all basically fungal oriented, and we need something that the system will adapt to that can fight this organism while really getting involved in disabling it and putting it into remission. So it's a disease that we see on the rise. It's because of the construction, it's because of the population increase. We've seen more airborne spores of valley fever that are circulating throughout the area, and it doesn't have to be just in the desert. It could be in an airport, in a hotel, in a car. You can pick up this organism everywhere. And so the point is to try to get the immune system to defend the body, keep the body in all elements as strong as possible, whether it's a dog or whether it's a person. And that includes diet and lifestyle and rest and exercise and all the factors that are involved in helping the system generate a defense against an organism that is potentially fatal over long periods of time. The Desert Defense line of formulas is centered around, number one, the original Desert Defense, which was designed for fungal invasions and the pathogens that we see in the desert Southwest, but also the Super Botanical formula. Super Botanical is an all-organic formula that is basically an alkalizing type of component that keeps the acidity and the alkaline balance in the body correct. It's the ultimate formula for wellness, for older animals, even for younger animals that just want to prevent themselves from getting disease, whether it's fungal or bacterial, whatever it might be. This is all about immune compromise and immune susceptibility, and we want the immune system to be strong as well as going after the invader, whatever that might be.
Stay tuned next week for another Pet Planet Pet Tip. More of the Animal Rescuers coming right up.
My daughter. Come here.
Love you, Dad.
Welcome back to the Animal Rescuers, adopted by Pet Planet.
Welcome back, and look who stopped by. This is Lisa, our holistic healer for animals, and we discovered that one of the Aussies has separation anxiety, which a lot of dogs do. So let's see how you overcome that.
Okay.
It's all you.
So this is Haley. Haley's got separation anxiety. So we've got Haley's mom here with us. And one of the first things I like to do, and Haley's deaf, by the way, one of the first things I like to do is just to get the animals into a calm, relaxed state. That is really key for just really any sort of healing or well-being. One of the things that I'm going to do here today is a healing touch for animals technique, and these techniques would be especially useful for these dogs because they're blind and deaf, and I know touch is a big part of what goes into their training and how you can handle them. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put one of my hands here on Haley's neck and then one hand on Haley's heart. And basically, as an energy healer, I'm making sure that, number one, I'm just really grounded myself, and eventually this energy will form what's called a bridge between my two hands. And then that bridge and that energy will flow all through Haley's body. Haley's energy centers will become balanced and cleared. And this is actually something that people can do with their own animals. This is something that you can do with Haley to get her calm. And what people might begin to start to feel is something in their hands, maybe prickling, maybe some heat, maybe some pulsing, once you get good at this. And you can do this for 5 to 10 minutes a day. You can do this up to 15, 20 minutes. And some of the things that you'll notice in your animal, some of the signs that you'll notice are you'll notice the animal getting relaxed. She'll probably start to droop her head, her eyes will get droopy, she'll maybe yawn, maybe lick and chew. And this is really good for people to do to connect with their animals. It strengthens your bond with your animals just by doing this a few minutes a day.
Thank you so much for being here again today, and you'll see Lisa on more episodes of the Animal Rescuers. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode. I fell in love. I hope you have also. This is Kimberly reminding you, adopt, donate, volunteer, spay and neuter, and you can be an animal rescuer too. We'll see you next week. I love my job. I love it. I love it.
It did happen. It was very embarrassing. I came home and she'd eaten like 60 of his pills.
Oh my God.
Vomiting blood. I mean, she had to be peroxide, charcoal, so. The point of that story is it can happen to anyone.
We're about to go down under.
On this week's episode of the Animal Rescuers, I was waiting for the tagline.
Okay.